So we're a little under a year away from the release of Madden 22, and this is the developmental stage for the game. So now is the time to state what we want in the next Madden. Now, of course, I want big features for franchise, me being a franchise guy, but I know bigger channels will cover that in their wish list. And speaking of bigger channels, we have 41 days until Christmas. If I can get 10 subscribers a day between now and then, I will reach 1,000 subscribers. So please help a brother out and be one of those 10, and then tell a friend to be the second. But anyways, today I'm gonna give you 5 things they should do with superstar abilities. All right, let's jump right into it. So number 1, I think they should add an ability that I named Pocket Presence. Now, by my definitions, passers with this ability will have improved response time and mobility behind the line of scrimmage. I personally do not have an issue with Escape Artist, but Escape Artist improves speed behind the line of scrimmage, which is great for guys like Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray, but what about other Escape Artists like Aaron Rodgers? Now, my intent for this ability is to have QBs move more fluidly behind the line of scrimmage and remove that sluggish feel they have. Like when you try to run straight forward, like toward the line of scrimmage, or try to run to the opposite hand of your quarterback, or sometimes even trying to run to the side, like to his hand, your quarterback will stop as if he stepped in a mud-filled hole and then slowly speed up. Now I want this ability just to negate that and keep that from happening. I think it should be a tier 1 ability that you get at 70 overall, so you don't have to wait till 90 overall like you do now to, feel like you're actually using a mobile quarterback. Who do I think should get this ability? I recommend Josh Allen, the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and Joe Burrow. I feel like those are pretty good examples of guys who aren't really fast behind the line of scrimmage, but they move really well behind it, and they're the perfect representation of what I intend, like what I would want this ability to behave like. Number 2 is the second ability I think they should add. I call this one Muscle Hamster. Runners with this ability will frequently break, arm, and dive tackles. I think this would be an amazing ability. The community will really appreciate because, like, don't you hate when your 6'1", 230-pound runner gets arm tackled? It's just annoying, and if you're an inside runner, this has definitely happened to you. There's not really much to explain about that one. I think you should get it as an 80 overall power back. Guys I think should get this ability are Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara. If they add it, those guys break a ton of arm tackles, especially Alvin Kamara because of how much balance he has. So I think they were going for this with the whole balance beam type of ability, but I honestly think quote unquote Muscle Hamster would be a better ability. The number 3 ability I think they should add to Madden 22 is, I call it Sweet Feet. I'm pretty sure they would think of a more creative name for it, but Sweet Feet, receivers with this ability have quicker releases and get dominant press wins more frequently. Now, when you heard me say that, you probably thought of 2 guys, Davante Adams and Keenan Allen. These guys have really good releases, and they're freaking amazing. Now, pressing, especially user pressing, is the best way to cover pass catchers. It has been the best way to cover pass catchers over the last 2-3 years, and there should just be wide receivers who can't be pressed. And I think I've been wanting this to be added since last year, but I think this would be a nice wrinkle in the game, not only for franchise but an ultimate team as well. It would add a new dynamic to, the play calling, the chess match of Madden, like knowing like people like to run press cover 3, this, that, and the third, press shade up. So it'd be added like, hey, do I really want to press Davante Adams? Do I really want to press Keenan Allen? I think it would be nice. The 4th ability I think they should add is, I call it Rainbow Dimer. Now, they probably should give it a better name than Rainbow Dimer. But anyways, passers with this ability get higher arcs on touch and lob throws. Now, hear me out on this one. Now, they improved the throwing arcs this year, last year. And I said they should double down on it early. But as I've thought more about it, not every quarterback has that good ball placement. So where we are now with the ball trajectory in arcs should be the normal for your normal quarterbacks. But this ability, assuming they add it, should separate guys like Russell Wilson, whose throwing arc is frequently raved about. Everybody knows Russell Wilson throws a beautiful lob pass, from a guy like Tom Brady and Drew Brees, who are accurate quarterbacks, but they don't get the air that Russell Wilson does. I think this should be a tier 2 or tier 3 ability. Now, when I say tier 1, 2, 3 or whatever, I'm referencing like you have you can get 5 abilities for your quarterback in franchise. So the first ability you get at 70, the second one you get at like 80, the third one you get at like 85. It's something like that. So yeah, that's what I mean when I say that. So I think it should be a tier 2 or tier 3 ability for quarterbacks, and I think guys who should have this are obviously Russell Wilson. He's the reason why I thought of this. Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, those guys throw beautiful deep balls, and I think it would also add a beautiful dynamic to the game. And if you're able to throw those higher arc passes, it makes deep passing more viable, and it makes it harder to intercept, as defenders will get the out of reach, you know, animations trying to intercept. Number 5 is not a new ability. I say Matchup Nightmare needs a rework. Now, as I just said, Matchup Nightmare is not a new ability, but I think it needs to be reworked. It gives you better contested catches versus linebackers and linemen. I think it should include safeties. I mean, if you look at the NFL, when they say quote unquote Matchup Nightmare in reference to a tight end or anybody, it's usually guys who are too fast for linebackers and too big for defensive backs. I think it should be either A, include safeties, give you better catching versus linemen, linebackers, and safeties, or B, be completely reworked to give you better separation versus linebackers and better contested catches versus defensive backs. Matchup Nightmare is already a tier 2 ability you get at 90 overall, and this will help it live up to the name. Obviously, I think guys like Travis Kelce and George Kittle should get it. The thing is with that, it can be abused, but I mean, if you watch the Raiders play the Patriots, I believe they played somebody, and they just completely abused Darren Waller. They force-fed him the ball because he was too fast for linebackers and he was too beefy for the DBs. So that's like a perfect reference for what this ability should represent, and I think you should go to guys who are just beastly like that, a true matchup nightmare. I mean, your tight end regardless should get open against a lineman or whatever. So those are 4 abilities that I think they should add to Madden, and then the 5th is a ability I think they should rework. If you have any ideas of what, you know, any abilities that they should add to the game, let me know in the comments. Do you agree with some of the ones that I said? Do you disagree? Also let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe. I drop a lot of really good content. You should check it out. It will be recommended in the end cards. But anyways, with that being said, if you know, man, because we know we up next, sponsored by Atari, and